Hey, what's up? Welcome to our series, Wondrously Weird Bible Stories, where we dig into the strange, the supernatural, and the most mysterious parts of the Bible. So buckle up, things are about to get seriously weird. Today, we're diving into one of the most famous stories in the entire Bible, the story of Jonah and the great fish. It's so well known that even non-believers often know it. But let's be real, it's a story people love to dismiss as a fishy fairy tale. A prophet runs from God, gets swallowed by a fish, prays his way out, and somehow an entire city repents? Sounds too wild to be true, right? Well, here's the thing. Jesus references Jonah's story in the Gospels and treats it as a crucial sign that foreshadows his own death and resurrection. If the Son of God takes this story seriously, maybe we should too. Let's start by quickly covering the part of the story most people know. Jonah was a prophet of Israel who received a clear command from God. Go to Nineveh, the capital of Assyria, and preach against its wickedness. But here's the problem. Nineveh was Israel's enemy, known for its cruelty and oppression. Instead of obeying, Jonah runs in the opposite direction. But God isn't letting him off that easy. A violent storm descends on the ship Jonah flees on, terrifying the sailors. At Jonah's own request, they toss him overboard, and the sea grows calm. God doesn't leave Jonah to drown. Instead, he sends a great fish to swallow him whole. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah is inside the belly of the fish. While he's in there, Jonah prays to God, recognizing his disobedience and thanking God for sparing his life. God hears him, and then the fish spits Jonah out onto dry land. Cool. That's the end of the story, right? Not so fast, my friend. Here's where it gets really wild. Let's look at the detail that often gets left out. Nineveh wasn't just any city. It was the heart of the Assyrian Empire and situated on the Tigris River. Now check this out. Not only one, but 2 major fish deities loomed large in the region's mythology, Dagon and Oannes. Dagon was a deity with fish-like attributes, often depicted as a half-man, half-fish figure. But even more intriguing is Oannes, a Babylonian fish god who was believed to emerge from the sea to teach humans wisdom. Now, it doesn't say specifically where Jonah was spit out, but the entire region was familiar with these deities and the myths associated with them. Trigger warning. I'm going to drop an opinion here because, believe it or not, we are entitled to have one. The Bible doesn't specifically call it out, but I think there is a good chance there were witnesses to this miraculous encounter. You might be thinking, that's a weird hill to die on, but just hear me out. Imagine if Jonah just went straight to Nineveh and started knocking on doors claiming to be a Jehovah's Witness. Just being honest, how do you think that would have gone? Not great would be my guess. Instead, you have Jonah show up after being spit out of a giant fish. Jonah's dramatic entrance would likely have seemed like an omen to the Ninevites. A man miraculously surviving in the belly of a fish might just make them stop and consider, maybe this was a message from the gods. But this was a message from Yahweh, and Jonah wasn't there to bring good news. He was there to call them to repent or face destruction. This is why I think the people take Jonah so seriously in chapter 3, verse 4. Jonah began to go into the city, going a day's journey, and he called out, "Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown." Seemingly without any resistance, everyone from the king down to the lowest servant, the entire city repents in sackcloth and ashes, which leads me to believe that there's more to this story than just a prophet showing up and telling people to change their behavior. Aside from the obvious lesson around obedience, this story has other takeaways that we should focus on too. On top of being a prophecy for the death and resurrection of Jesus, did you notice that Yahweh seemed to use the cultural symbols of the Assyrians to lead people to the one true God? It's a beautiful reminder of how, like always, Yahweh meets us where we are. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this, don't miss my series on supernaturality and the Bible. The link is in the description. And just remember to keep reading that Bible.